Hello everyone, you're welcome back again to the Afro Food Diary. My name is Geraldine. Guys, I'll be sharing with us quickly this simple recipe. I saw it on CCMA TV and I liked how simple and easy to prepare it was. And on this season, when I was so busy preparing for my son's birthday, I decided to give this a try for our dinner. Okay, yeah, so stay tuned and see how I prepared this. So we'll be starting with our already washed potatoes. This is what we call Irish potatoes in Nigeria, but this one is produced in Norway, so we call it Norwegian potatoes. So I'll quickly peel that up and I'll be cutting it into sizable chunks. The number of pieces I cut out of each one depends on the size. It could be 4, it could be 2, it could even be 3. Okay guys. So I'm saving them in a cool water in my pot. Yeah, but I'm going to be boiling some water in this kettle to pour in when I'm ready to cook them, okay? Yeah, so the essence of putting it in that water is to keep the color as it is. Okay, now I'm done guys. I'll just strain this water away and then I'll go ahead and transfer the pot onto my cooktop and then pour in the boiled water. I want this to start boiling immediately, okay? So I'll allow it to come to a boil before I will add some salt and some vegetable oil. The cooking process shouldn't take long since they are cut up, okay? Yeah, and please remember not to cut yours too very tiny, otherwise it's going to get mushy when you do the actual pan frying. While the potatoes are boiling, I have some fresh tomatoes in here. I have onions, I have green pepper from which I'll be cutting just a little for garnishing. Okay, yeah, I just want that pop of green color in it, and I'll be using chili pepper. Yeah, she didn't use chili pepper for her recipe, but since it's something I'm trying for the first time, I like to make it a little warm. Okay, then I have some sweet pepper as well. Okay, I would also love to add some carrot, which is like a twist. As this is serving as a meal, I want it to be filling. Okay, so I'll go ahead now and prep the onions and the rest of the veggies, okay? And we'll be back. Okay, the potatoes are boiling now and I'll be adding some salt into it. I think I used about a tablespoon of salt. Yeah, but it depends on the quantity of potatoes you are cooking. And like I said, it wouldn't take time. It wouldn't take more than 15 minutes to boil that. So I'll go ahead with the rest of the veggies now. Just cut them up and set aside. Here I'm cutting up the chili pepper and put in this plate, and then I grated my tomatoes because they're a little soft and I wouldn't want to put the back into it, okay, to avoid that nylon feel after cooking. So my potato is boiling still and I added a few drops of olive oil. At this point it was cooked. Guys, you want this to be just cooked and not mushy, okay? Yeah, so I strained it guys and poured a little bit of cold water over it to stop the cooking process. Meanwhile, this is our grated tomatoes and the pepper inside. I'll go ahead now and start making the sauce with a little bit of olive oil in my pan. I'll pour in the onions and then the peppers. I decided to turn in both the sweet pepper and the green pepper at the same time, okay? Yeah, we're going to be sauteing that for a bit. Meanwhile, we should also turn in the carrot so that it will start cooking. The carrot will not be as soft as the peppers, but we wouldn't want them to be very raw either. And remember, that's optional. I just decided to add that to kind of fill me up, yeah, since it's serving as a meal. I like to sprinkle on a little bit of salt so that the veggies can get a little tasty, okay? Here is what it's looking like, translucent and ready. I'll be transferring this into a plate in a bit, and then we'll fry the tomatoes. If you have an already made tomato sauce, tomato and mixed pepper sauce, then you wouldn't need to go through this process, okay? I added some mixed spices, tasted. You taste as you cook, guys. I love to add some thyme just for the taste. It's not compulsory. So, and as you can see at this point, the liquid in the tomato is almost dried out, okay? So I turned in the vegetables we sauteed earlier. We're going to mix that together. Mix everything together and get them to marry each other, basically. So next, guys, I added some cayenne pepper. Remember, this is optional. I just added that because I would want it to be warm since it's something I'm making for the first time. I also added some paprika powder and tasted. You taste as you cook. So that is ready and I set it aside. Now it's time to pan fry our potatoes with a little bit of oil in my pan, just enough to moisturize the bottom of our pan. Basically, I turned in the potatoes and started to pan fry them, like stir fry them, basically. Yeah, so what we are aiming to achieve is to get them browned, on all sides. So you flip it and just flip it regularly, okay? Don't allow it to get burnt. It's okay for it to have those golden brown stuffs on them. It actually makes them beautiful. I love it. So now it's ready. That took about 5-6 minutes, okay, guys? Then I turned in the sauce we already made earlier, okay? And food is basically ready. I turned off the stove at this point and just concentrated on mixing in the sauce into our potatoes, and at the same time the heat from the pan and the cooktop is getting them married, okay? Don't mind me, but just mix everything together and give it a few minutes and food is ready, guys. It's ready. At this point I'm just serving it and I loved how warm it is, and yeah, I enjoyed spicing it up with some pepper, and the carrot had added some kind of crunch to it and it was just perfect. Thank you, Sisi Yemi, for this nice dish. It was worth my while. Yeah, so guys, that brings us to the end of today's yummy episode. You can feel free to give this a try if you want to, and let me know what you think about it. For now, I will say thank you for joining me and have a beautiful day as always. Bye.